Is there more than one NUTmobile, or just one?
There's one and only NUTmobile.
Yeah, that's it. You're it.
Yeah, we like to say if you see us, you're one lucky nut.
One lucky nut. I love it.
And we have also our Mr. Peanut mascot as well.
Do you have people writing these one-liners for you? No. There's something similar, doesn't Oscar Mayer, I think, have like the hot dog mobile or something like that?
We like to say they're a bunch of baloney,
yeah.
but
look at all the puns. I love the puns.
I have a lot of nut puns for sure.
Today I'm really excited about having one of our alumni come back, and she actually was a senior on my first year on campus and graduated in May of 2023, at the end of my first year here. Katie Krupinski, thank you for coming to join us today. Really excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having us.
So tell me about your background, like where you came from and why you came to Texas State. Your time here.
Sure. So my name's Katie, as we mentioned. I grew up outside of Chicago. My family was moving to Texas, so I kind of had the opportunity to tour some schools and fell in love with Texas State. I actually applied the day of the deadline and I got in right away, and I was pretty set on going there. And
what was it when did you come and fall in love with it, or
yeah,
so it was a visit to campus?
Yeah, I visited a couple schools in Texas. I did a tour of Texas State. I just thought it was absolutely beautiful. All the buildings and everything were just so pretty on campus.
The architecture is unbelievable, isn't it?
Yes.
It feels a real Spanish feel, a lot of consistency among the buildings, and so and it's hilly.
Yes.
I don't know if you know that. It's hilly here.
Yes, yeah. I had all my classes in Old Main, so I had the luxury of going up all the hills.
That's awesome.
Super fun. But I did really like how everything was more condensed in an area. I don't really love a college campus where all the buildings are all sprawled out over the place.
You can park in one place or bus to one place and then walk from class to class, right?
Yes.
Do you have like a favorite professor when you were here?
Oh, that's so hard to pick. Everyone's so amazing, especially I feel like in SJMC, School of Journalism and Mass Communications. I do really love Professor Price.
Yeah, there you go.
She's amazing. And
faculty love to hear that, by the way, because you kind of toil in anonymity in your teaching, and there's nothing like getting a note from a student after and going, hey, you really had an impact on my life, and so on.
Truly. And I spent a lot of time with Dr. Devlin, because I was in a national student advertising competition my senior year. So I spent a lot of time working on that. We won second place the year that we were in it too, which was awesome. And Dan Schumacher from the radio station. I was in KTSW for 3 years, so I have to shout him out, and Jennifer Scarlett as well. Yeah, love
that's
all
awesome.
of them. No, totally.
Where'd you live your freshman year?
I lived in Tower.
Okay.
So I lived in Tower, and I loved it. I mean, I was during the year of COVID, so I only had like a year and a half of my freshman year.
Oh, you're one of the COVID kids.
Yes. Yeah. So I had my freshman year, the first semester in the dorm, and then the second semester in March, we went back home and did everything online. So I only had a year and a half in the dorm, but I really enjoyed it. I was in a living learning community at Tower too, so I made friends pretty easily, which was awesome.
Now, in spite of having like an interrupted freshman year, you were pretty involved in campus, and so you were involved in the Diamond Sweethearts.
I was.
And tell us a little bit about the Diamond Sweethearts. I see them all the time, so I know, but maybe our listeners don't.
Yeah, me and one of my best friends, who was actually my roommate in college, we both joined Diamond Sweethearts right away. I was in it for my first 2 years of college, so I basically lived at Bobcat Ballpark, I would say. And I love sports, so it really helped me get involved with the athletic department. And then also sophomore year, I joined KTSW, and I was a part of their sports team as well as community relations. So I was just always out and about on campus working events all the time, which was amazing.
And then you did something that I think is really interesting. And I tell students this all the time. Sometimes people say, well, I looked at all the organizations and I don't really see one that is perfect for me. And you found one, and also two, actually. But then you said, you know what, I want to do this other thing. And so you founded an organization, which I love. I've had a little interaction with them as well. Tell us a little about the Sirens.
Yes, of course. So me and a couple of my friends, ending sophomore year, going into junior year, we co-founded Texas State Sirens together. It's a women empowerment organization at Texas State. And our first semester, we had over 100 members, which we did not expect. But me and one of the main girls that co-founded it, as I mentioned before, we both grew up in Illinois, and we didn't know a single person going to Texas State. So we really wanted to offer an organization where students and undergraduate women could find connections and build resources on campus, whether it's just making a community of people, study groups, getting safety resources, transportation resources. Not saying that we weren't offered those things at Texas State, 'cause I think they do a really amazing job, but we just wanted to make an organization where everything would be easily accessible for women that are undercollegiates at Texas State.
Yeah, and it's going strong. It's one of those great things that you start something and you worry, I think, like, if I leave, will this thing continue? And it's actually continuing strong now. And they're a great bunch of young ladies for sure. And so my wife and I went and did a talk one evening with them, and they were super sweet. And so what you started is kind of a legacy for you.
Oh, that's so amazing to hear.
Yeah.
I'm really glad it's up and going strong.
Sometimes people will say, I work for peanuts, and they're talking about I don't make very much money, but you literally work for peanuts. And let's talk a little bit about your job. Now, you graduated in May of 23, and then what happened after that? How did you get to where you are now?
So I graduated in May 2023 with my degree in public relations and a minor in business admin, and I moved to San Antonio. I worked as an event coordinator for a Hyatt resort, so I was basically just working a ton of conventions, business conferences, but also any type of event, birthdays, quinceañeras, and I just found a love and passion for events, and I've always wanted an opportunity where I can have a job where I can travel, and I heard about the Planters NUTmobile program. It's a year-long program where you get to travel around the country, working events all throughout the nation, and planning them, executing, also running their social medias, planning media interviews. So I thought it was a perfect fit for me, so I applied actually this time last year, and I started in June 2024. So I've been doing it for about 8 months, just traveling around in a giant peanut.
In a giant peanut, and there's something similar, doesn't Oscar Mayer, I think, have like the hot dog mobile or something like that?
We like to say they're a bunch of baloney,
but look at all the puns. I love the puns.
I have a lot of nut puns for sure. We used to be the same program and affiliated with them.
Oh, really?
We're no longer affiliated because Planters got bought out by Hormel Foods in 2021. But we say that they're our Celesti sisters on the street. We see them around throughout the country, so we always meet up with them.
Now, so we have mascots at the football games, and little. I'm not sure everyone knows this, but actually like 3 or 4 people that kind of trade out because 4 or 5 hours in a mascot uniform or costume is really can be exhausting because of the heat and so on. So they swap out, and so it's different people in the same costume, which is also kind of awkward too because you're wearing a costume someone else just wore. But is there more than one NUTmobile, or is it just one?
There's one and only NUTmobile.
Yeah, that's it. You're it.
Yeah, we like to say if you see us, you're one lucky nut.
One lucky nut. I love it.
And we have also our Mr. Peanut mascot as well.
Do you have people writing these one-liners for you? No. That's good. So
I absolutely do.
That's right. I can tell. It's very professional. So I guess you must have a team with you, right?
Yeah, we have a team. So 3 people, including myself, travel full-time on the road. We're called Peanutters, but more like Peanutter marketing. So we're the ones planning the events, running the socials, and doing media interviews, and then also driving and operating the vehicle as well.
Do you drive it on the freeway, or do you tow it until you get there?
We drive it everywhere. I drove it over to San Marcos earlier today.
Now, I got to know, can I get a ride in it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Anytime.
After this, let's go after this.
Let's go.
Is it like a car that's got a big peanut built around it? Is that how it?
So it actually was an Isuzu box truck. If you've seen those box trucks on the highway, it was in a 2017 Isuzu box truck. Got converted into the shape of a peanut. Takes a little over a year to convert it into its shape, and then it's been traveling full time. Only one in the country, all throughout the U.S.
So it's got to be, and I've seen this before, and sometimes you're driving along and you see like a 1932 Chevy there, and you go by and you're kind of looking at it, and you're waving, and the people in there are waving back, and they know they're odd, but you must get the same thing, even more so.
Oh, all the time. Yeah. I mean, and people are constantly honking at us on the highway, but we always say any honk is a good honk because people are just so excited to see us. And I feel like a lot of people don't hear about the NUTmobile prior, so they just see a giant peanut on wheels on the highway, and they're like, what is this thing? Like, this is nuts. No pun intended. Yeah. But we get
no pun. You're intending the puns. Don't kid me, Katie. You've been working on this for a year now, and so.
I'm always shelling out those puns.
Yeah, shelling out the puns.
But
oh my gosh, I got to keep up with you somehow.
But yeah, we sleep in hotels. Anytime we pull up to the hotel, the hotel staff are always like, what is this thing? And pumping gas at a gas station.
Oh, yeah.
Anywhere we go is essentially an event because people are going to ask questions.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because we travel full time for the span of a year, and we never have to find people. People always want to come and talk to us, and we always have positive interactions. No one's mad at a giant peanut truck. People always are like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? And want to talk to us. So it's really amazing.
It's really interesting. So, but do you set up events like I'm going to Dallas and we're going to go to the county fair or whatever?
Yeah, so we do a little bit of event research in advance. We have our corporate team with our 2 managers that plan events months to a year in advance, and we have a corporate event every 3 to 5 weeks. And then in that span that we don't have a corporate event, me and my team that are currently traveling on the road will just maneuver our way to the next city for our corporate event, and then we plan smaller things in between. So we do a lot of college campuses, a lot of fairs and festivals like you mentioned. We do breweries because beer and nuts pair well, but we really try to partner up with just a ton of local businesses and events in any city we go to.
So where were you before you came here, and where are you going next?
Oh yeah, great question. We were just in San Antonio. We had an event this morning at a Children's Methodist Hospital, which is awesome.
Oh, interesting. So the patients come out, or
yeah,
parents?
so my sister's a pediatric oncology nurse. We have very different professions, obviously. So yeah, she works with kids with cancer. We went to her hospital unit, and we just brought our Mr. Peanut mascot out, and we're able to pass out peanuts and
so
stickers.
You've got a mascot in addition to the car. You're not the mascot. You're the car driver?
Or a little bit of everything. We all kind of rotate.
So when I mention the mascot,
I'm supposed to say Mr. Peanut's my boss.
Yeah,
but
that's funny.
But I'm really close to him, so we all are.
I get it. It's actually funny when you talk to the mascots, like no one's supposed to know who's the mascot is. And so at graduation, sometimes they'll walk across stage with like the mascot feet on or something like that and go, oh, you're one of the people, right? And so,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, so you went in San Antonio Children's Hospital.
Yeah, we went to San Antonio. My family lives there actually. So we did a hometown event and then just a couple local events in the area. And then we're going to Austin after this. But before Texas, we were in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, which was really awesome.
Cool.
Didn't go to the game, but we drove a ton of people to the Caesars Superdome, which was
Were you
really
like giving
awesome.
rides?
Yeah, we planned a couple influencer rides, so we were able to film some content with them, and then we were kind of picking up other people on the street that wanted to ride to the game.
So we're like texting influencers to say, hey, we're going to be in New Orleans. You want to ride with us?
Yes.
Because they're looking for content too, right? Mm-hmm. And for them, it's like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is nutty. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love the nut.
I'm working it in, yeah.
You're a natural at it. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we basically just messaged a ton of influencers, and it honestly worked out really great. We got a ton of amazing content, and honestly, it felt like an out-of-body experience that weekend was, because I've never been in a town where the Super Bowl was going on. It was just mayhem all over, and we had Mr. Peanut Mardi Gras beads, so everyone was like throwing them out the windows when we were driving.
So what's next for you? Is this a one-year deal?
Yeah, it's a 1-year deal. The company that I work for, the partner company is Hormel Foods, so they're really gracious of like having peanutters transition.
They make chili and a lot of canned food and so on.
Yes, I'm very impressed.
I'm full of food knowledge, so.
I love it. Yeah, Hormel Foods is an amazing company. I'm really happy that Planters owns them because they do a really great transition program if you'd like to do a sales role and kind of sell all of Hormel's products, like chili, as you mentioned, but they have Spam, Holy Guacamole, a ton of different other brands.
You know that Spam is like the #1 food treat in Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah, people in Hawaii love Spam. Yeah. We grew up in a trailer court, and we ate a lot of Spam, especially at the end of the month.
Oh, really?
I'm not a big fan.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm more of a peanut girl.
If you fry it pretty crispy, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I went to the Spam Museum when I did my peanut prep. That was basically my training for my job, because our corporate office is technically in a town called Spamtown, USA. So it has the Spam Museum and all
blowing
that
my
stuff.
mind.
First time I ate it, so, I'm not going to judge you if you don't like it.
So maybe moving into the corporate world?
Yeah, I'm really interested in staying with the company I'm on right now. The only opportunities that I'm seeing in Texas right now, I would love to, move back to the Hill Country. My degree's in PR, so would be really interested in exploring PR and marketing jobs in Austin, San Marcos, and San Antonio as well.
There's a rule that if you're from Texas and you move away, you have to move back. I don't know if you know that. It's an unwritten rule. So we'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us, Katie.
Thank you for having me. This was
awesome.
amazing.
I do have to tell you, I mentioned my interest in peanuts. It's because my father-in-law was a professor at Texas A&M, and he was the peanut researcher there. And the people who made the Payday candy bar were having trouble with the shelf life. It just wasn't lasting very long. So they went to him and said, can you create a peanut that will have a longer shelf life? Because most candy bars have a chocolate covering and the peanuts will last longer. And so he spent a couple of years developing the peanut. And now every payday candy bar has the peanut that he invented. And then he passed away not long after that. And so they named the peanut variety after him, which is really cool. So when you come to our house as a visitor, we have a big bowl of payday candy bars. And I brought a payday candy bar for you to give you, and you can certainly eat it. You don't have to keep it as a souvenir, but I thought you might have had that. That's in memory of my father-in-law, Olin Smith, who was a great guy, and
so
I learned a
nice.
lot from him. And whenever I see that, I think of him, and it's my favorite candy bar too. So, anyways.
Thank you for the generous gift. I'd love to trade you.
Yeah. Oh,
I have
you have something for
some-
me too?
Yeah, honey roasted and salted Planters
That's
peanuts.
That's excellent. I
I
love
hope
that.
you like them. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. I
so-
love paydays, and I love that you have that background with peanuts, and you know that peanuts are a legume, and
Well, you know,
all that history you have.
when he had these peanut plots, and we had to go out there, and one of my part-time jobs in graduate school was helping him pick peanuts. And you know, I don't know if you know, but the branches go out and the spikes go down in the ground, and the peanuts grow on the spikes. They don't grow on the roots. And so I just learned a lot about peanuts there, and so
I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
This is a full circle moment,
Exactly.
right?
It's
and
awesome.
then you get a ride in a peanut, so it'll be amazing.
Hey, Katie, we've got this kind of tradition that we started here. We ask viewers to submit questions to me, and then we ask our guests to actually ask the questions. And so you are now the podcast host, and I've not seen the question. They're usually pretty good. Ask me the question, and I'll do my best. I might ask you to answer it too.
Ooh,
depending on
okay.
what
I don't know if I can answer this one.
Okay.
This is a little bit more personal to you,
Okay.
but what do you miss about Canada?
Oh my gosh, today's like today make me feel like I wish I was back in Canada where it was like this, because I miss the snow, and I actually miss the seasons, and I love the transition of the seasons. So my mom's birthday was September 29th, and she always complained that it snowed on her birthday. So every September 29th I look and it's not snowing. In fact, it's usually like 110 degrees here, and I kind of miss like the first snowfall. And you've been around snow, right?
Yeah.
Chicago and so on.
Yeah.
The first snow is awesome, and I actually think it's kind of romantic to walk around in the snow with the street lights and so on. My wife does not think that's romantic. It's too cold for her. She's from Bryan, Texas, and so it's a little too cold for her. But I do miss that transition to the first snow day. Now, the 20th snow day or the 8th month of snow it's gotten old for me. But then when spring starts to happen and the leaves start coming back to life and the grass starts to turn green, all those transitions I like, because it helps me kind of keep track of time. And if you're in a place, Texas has a little bit of seasonal change, but not too much. It goes from hot to cold pretty quickly. But I do kind of miss the season change. So
Yeah.
I will say I miss hockey, because I used to watch hockey all the time. But I've kind of like not been a hockey fan as much as I used to be, because I've fallen in love with college sports and American college sports. And I love watching our BOBCATS play anything now. But we have a BOBCATS hockey team, and so I get to kind of live vicariously through them as well. So
I love that. What part of Canada are you from?
I'm from Alberta. So if you go Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Alberta. So
okay.
right on the western side or the eastern side of the Rockies.
And
So.
when did you move? Now I'm asking
Now
you. a
you're asking me,
question.
yeah, fire
And
away.
then when did you move from Canada to the States?
So I went to community college, got a law enforcement diploma, was a prison guard, and I wanted to be a police officer, but I was a prison guard. And 1984, one of my instructors talked me into going back to school, and he said there's this place in Huntsville, Texas called Sam Houston State, and they got a big criminal justice program. I worked out a deal for you to go down there, and so in 1985, a year later, after I got all my student loans together and so on, bought a motorcycle and drove down to Huntsville, Texas, and got my degree, and then met a girl who didn't want to marry a cop or Canadian, and here I am some 40 years later. So
I love it. Is
Yeah.
that why you drive the motorcycle at all the football games too?
yeah, my athletics director knew I'd ridden a motorcycle before, and so before the first game, he said, we should have you ride the bike out there. So that's kind of what happened. This past year was kind of fun. I don't know if you saw, my wife actually rode out there with me, so it was like our college days again.
Oh,
riding
that's
on the bike.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I went to the homecoming game this
Yeah.
past November, and I saw you out there, and I was like, this is awesome.
Katie, thanks so much for
Thank
joining
you
us.
so much for
Yeah,
having me. This
absolutely.
was an absolute pleasure, and I'll catch you later tomorrow.
Oh my goodness gracious, I can't keep up with you. Oh my God. Well, we'll peek in on you periodically as well. So
I love it.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. It's always such a great opportunity for us to find out what's happening on our campus, and to the people who came here, whose lives were changed, and then now we're out there changing other people's lives like Katie has done. So thank you, Katie, for joining us. Thank you for joining us on the podcast as well. Stay up, everyone.